Welcome to the Social Butterfly, the program that will bring the most amazing media industry guests to give us insight to the media industry. I'm your host, Dion.
And I'm Clara.
And today we would like to introduce our special guests from Spark Media, James O'Connell and Georgia Carter.
So in this episode, we will explore and come up to different questions about studies, career in media industry, and also professional history of Georgia, who is production coordinator, and James, who is content producer. We are really curious to listen the stories, advice, and learnings of our dear guests. So thank you for coming.
So, James and Georgia, we did some research and we found out both of you are ex-media and communication students from Birmingham City University. So, we want to dig deep into your education background and get to know more about how the skills you've learned has developed your career. So, my first question to you is, what made you interested in media and why did you pursue a career in it? And was there anyone or anything that inspired you or motivated you?
Yeah, do you want me to go first? Yeah, so yeah, hello, you're right. Yeah, I'm James. I got into sort of media, I studied media communications. I got into video production, kind of just by myself almost. My dad does a lot of photography, so he sort of got me into photography, and then that in itself got me into video. I've always liked consuming content, video content, so it kind of sort of developed from just my own doing it myself, picking up cameras and going out and taking photos and then videos and hyperlapses, time lapses, stuff like that. So yeah, really kind of spelled from my dad, but then also through a bit of education at sixth form as well, enabled me to, just get a bit of experience.
That's interesting. Georgia?
I actually came in it through the radio angle. So I did work experience at a local radio station, actually in Coventry, when I was at school, and then from there went to uni with the plan to kind of go into radio because I loved it so much. When I got to uni, fell in love with the TV side of it and the video side of it, and then went that way instead.
Okay, it's very interesting. And we know that sometimes we don't see how what we are learning in class can be really useful later. And so we would like to know what skills did you learn from university course that you are still using? Maybe, James, you can.
Yeah. So some skills, I think communication with working in groups and teams, it is the thing that is so crucial in this industry, to be able to communicate with your team, your directors, DOPs, runners, anyone in the production itself, is having that communication base. And that's sort of something I started learning at university, is just really getting in like call sheets. Georgia handles a lot of the production call sheets and stuff like that, just to communicate, where you need to be, what you need to do. Then also just sort of learning on the job, doing having the university course to help you just have that hands-on experience of doing like you guys are doing today. Doing this is really good because this will help along the way. Real world experience of this job is the most important thing to be able to do the job, to just doing these types of things.
Yeah, and it's really important to know how to work in team. And for you?
No, I would definitely kind of agree with what James said. It is a collaborative industry, and you do have to be able to communicate really well with lots of different types of people. So I think definitely that. And I think also you learn every day on this job, every day you learn, every time there's a shoot, every time you do something like this, you will learn a lesson that will be helpful for the next shoot. And I think uni gives you a really good starting point for that, that you can then build on. You've got this set of skills of communication, of thinking on your feet, that you can then build on every time you're on a shoot. And I think, that's what I've taken from uni.
Yeah, it's really important.
That's perfect. And that perfectly leads on to the next question of if you could pick 3 top skills from university, what would they be that you took from your degree that's now helped you massively in your industry?
So 3 top skills.
Yeah.
So well, obviously communication one, I think teamwork, and I think just giving, I don't know if it's a specific skill, just giving something a go, just literally if it's scary, is the worst thing that can happen is, the worst thing that happens is it doesn't work, and you'll learn from that. So I suppose just jumping in the deep end, doing stuff that can be a bit scary. I guess you guys doing presenting, you don't do the presenting all the time, but jumping in the deep end doing it, and you gain a lot of just, afterwards you go, oh, you know, this was really good, or, you know, you can gain something from that. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I would definitely say communication is the top skill in this industry to be able to have. And even if like you're more of a reserved person, just get out there anyway and communicate with people and do it in an effective way. Teamwork is absolutely important in this industry. And then I would say the kind of ability to think on your feet on shoots and on set, that is really helpful. That's probably 90% of my job. So.
George is a great problem solver.
I think it's the best quality. And so James, we know that sometimes it can be really hard as a student to know what we want to do, and you said that your father helped you to know where you want to study and what you want to be, but did other things help you to be sure that it's this study to do your job?
I suppose when I went to sixth form, I wasn't sure what to do. Then they helped me to say, you know, what about university as an option? I did open days, I went to my university, and seeing the big studio space, even like studio spaces like this, I was like, yeah, I want to get into something like this, similar to this. And also just sort of capturing moments and on video or photo, kind of, that's certain, you know, that really helped me to find what I wanted to do. And I think just going with the flow and trying new things at university, or, you know, work experience and stuff like that, is really important.
That's amazing. So Georgia, this one's next for you. Okay. What advice do you wish you received at uni and would give to us now?
Enjoy it, I think, would be the, like, every time that you are doing something like this, every time that you are working towards a project, it's so easy to get stressed about it and to not really feel like this is an achievement, like be proud of this, enjoy this, like, and I think like I would give that advice to us in the industry as well, like every project that you get to work on, enjoy it as much as you possibly can, because it's cool to be doing something like this. It's a good job to be in.
Yeah. And so you are both working at Spark Media Industry, so now to speak a little bit more about your career in media and communication, what drove you to work at Spark Media? So maybe Georgia, you want to start?
So I graduated just before the pandemic. So obviously going into this industry during that was a little bit tough. I got like a few runner jobs in in TV, different TV, and then the opportunity for production coordinator came up at Spark, and it when I read the job description, it sounded exactly like what I was looking for. And it means I still get to do the on-set adrenaline, like fun stuff that I enjoyed about being a runner, but you also get to do the being a part of the whole team and the whole like process of a project and not just the set side of it.
So here for 5 years.
Yeah, it's a long time. No, so I worked for a smaller TV station before that, and I gained a lot of good skills and knowledge from that, and then I applied to a job at Spark, and I got that job. You know, you had to work quite hard before that to get the work experience at uni. I was doing sort of like some paid, some unpaid jobs, but I think getting all that experience then helped me build up to my first job outside of uni, and then get to Spark. And since I've joined, we've grew quite a lot. We've been working on a lot of big projects, small projects, but just very varied, which I love. Just being like, one day we're working in a factory filming, one day we're on a TV shoot. You know, it can be very different.
Okay. And you are in front of many students from whom graduation are in few years, and we are really interested to know how did you manage and how did you handle the transition between university and the work industry, which can be sometimes really different and really hard.
Yeah. Do you want to go first? Yeah. So I finished uni and I didn't have a job to go into straight away. I was something that I was like really stressed about when I first was sort of coming to the end of my university degree. But I kind of just went into sort of some part-time work or like some office work while I was waiting for the opportunities. One thing I'd say is not to stress about getting the perfect job straight away. Other people in my course got their perfect job straight away. some people didn't. Some, you know, it's not always the path you follow isn't always the quickest one. You know, if you're dedicated to getting it, you'll get there. It's just having the pursuit of it.
Yeah, and sometimes it just takes some time.
Yeah, it takes a bit of time.
Yeah, I would definitely like agree with that. I think just don't give up on it. Like whatever it's a hard industry to get into. It can be a really difficult process, but just don't give up on it. Like I think is the biggest. There were times where I wanted to give up on it and just go into something else. I thought, you know, this is too hard. It's not like it's just runner jobs. It's nothing permanent, but I didn't, and I stuck with it, and I got Spark, and I'm very happy in the job that I have. So I think just be patient with it, stick with it. If you want to get into this industry, you can get into this industry. You just got to give it the time for that to be possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfect.
I think that's something I think most students now need to understand, because I think we're always in such a rush to get that dream job first, and hearing from you both and understanding, actually take that time, take different routes, because at the end you might find your perfect job somewhere else.
Yeah, and being open to available as well, being available to jump on something. You know, if you've got like a job that you are happy with, but you want to move on from. Then when you have a job you are happy with that you want to go, you'll be able to jump onto that quickly, because a lot of employers are like, when can you start? You know, and so you know, having that flexibility to be available and eager, you know, is quite important.
That's perfect. So as we know, Georgia, you are a production coordinator, and James, you are a production manager. We kind of want to know more about your roles and like what you do day to day. So Georgia, do you want to start maybe?
Yeah, definitely. So kind of day to day, every day is different in this industry as a whole, but at Spark every day is different. And I think like for me, my job kind of varies between, as James mentioned, call sheets, risk assessments, all of that kind of paperwork side of it, but also I do all the casting for adverts that we do. I make sure that we've got like the right people on shoots and that everyone knows where they're going and what they're doing. So it's a really varied job. You know, one day we can be on a shoot. We were on a shoot a couple of weeks ago where we had a man dressed up as a bear.
Yeah.
So you can go from something like that to being in the office all day, casting for a new ad. You know, it's a really varied job, and you get to meet an awful lot of people and do an awful lot of things that sometimes you just look at yourself and think, what am I doing? How is this my job? But I think that that's a really cool thing, and I love the fact that I never know what I'm walking. Every job, every day is going to be different, and it's exciting.
You are never bored, like it's
Exactly.
always
It's exciting, always on your toes. And James?
Yeah, so my role kind of, I help to manage the workload and what shoots are going on, manage the editing as well, because there's a lot to go into it. There's a pre-production, which Georgia handles loads of that, and it's really, you know, so important to have a pre-plan for everything. And then you go into production, you film. I manage the team, but so film and edit as well myself. So, you know, filming something, because a lot of effort goes into that as well, making sure you got the right kit, you know, lenses, lighting, audio, you know, got to be prepared for backups as well. You know, something might not go to plan, you know, you want to have a backup plan. Then also in the editing side of things, because sometimes things can be saved in the edit as well, so you've got a lot of, you know, the edit is kind of almost the most important part of it, because that's where you're shaping your video. You know, you can film 20 hours of footage, but you've got to make that edit work for the client and for what you're trying to achieve. My role though, I suppose, is I'm trying to manage the team, managing the shoots, and then managing the editing side of things as well, which comes with its challenges, comes with its but there's always a solution. There's like, nothing is the end of the world, you know, there's always a solution. So you have to manage expectations of clients as well. So part of our jobs as well is we also liaise with clients as well. Clients, quite client facing, and that is a benefit of Spark, because we are a smaller business, but we have that personal touch with the client where you'll be talking to one of us directly on a phone call, video call, and we have a personal touch. And if we have a relationship with a client over several years, which we have done with a lot of our clients, you know, a part of our job is to sort of be that person, a point of contact, for what they might need next and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So be with the client is really a thing in your day, okay?
Yeah.
And so nowadays we know that we are surrounded by a lot of new technology, and in Spark Media you are now offering to work with virtual reality, which is a technology to simulate a new environment in 3 dimensions. So James, would you say that it's still relatively new process? Is everyone trained for?
So yeah, I'd say 360 video is something that, well, Spark did before even I joined. They've been doing it for years and years and years. It's something that it's like it comes and everyone goes, oh, really excited about it. Then it kind of goes away a little bit. But right now is quite important because Apple have got their new headset and stuff like that. So maybe a lot more content will be created in the next few years. So it's something that is keep the mind out for if you're interested in 360 video. We focus more on the actual video filming, like using a 360 camera side of things. We do work with other companies that help us create environments as well, but we film a lot of it just on there's a camera that's as big as my head that's like a 360 camera to capture high resolution footage. We also have you got smaller action cameras that are 360 as well, but they have less quality, so it depends. If you're putting it on a headset, higher quality is better always, but budget is also a consideration. But I'd say for training on it, I think I suppose it's something you kind of have to have a little bit of a passion for, or you want to get to learn more about, because it's not something that's the same as these cameras here or other cameras that you might have on like a gimbal system or something like that. It's almost like a separate it's like separate to main video production for like this type of thing. So but yeah, I think actually in the next few years it probably will become quite popular, even more so than it was.
It's interesting to know that, especially as technology is becoming such a big thing with AI, so the development of things are progressively getting faster these days.
Yeah.
But we do want to touch back on what you mentioned about your team. It's a small division, 12 of you on your team, and we just want to know more, like, do you employ more people than that, or do you just like having a close knit of just 12 of you and that you all take on like major roles?
I think we all kind of have our role, and I think the 12 of us, we work very closely with each other. So we have 4 animators, and then on like our side of things, the live action side of things, there's James, and we have 2 video producers, myself, we have a head editor, Mikey, and then Danny and Scott obviously own the business. So it is very small.
And then Becca
business.
as well with marketing,
so it is a very small business, but it does mean that we're all so involved with everything that goes on. So for me, I really prefer that. I think when you are in a bigger business, it's very easy for this is your role and you only do your role. Whereas I think I kind of know everything that's going on within the live action side of things, and get to work on so many different projects at a time that it's never boring. And I think I really prefer that, and I prefer the team. Like, we're such a good team, and we are really like close with each other. And I don't know that you'd necessarily get that from a bigger team. Obviously, like, as the jobs get bigger and as Spark hopefully gets bigger, there will be more opportunities to, I think, employ more people.
The goal would be, make more bigger projects, hire more people, grow to like levels but it just has to be sustainable as well. That's a bigger thing. And
I think like when we have bigger shoots, like we do employ more people on like a day-to-day basis. So like we'll have like a team of runners, or we'll bring in like a sound op if we need it for that shoot, or that kind of thing. So we will make the team bigger when it needs to be bigger, type thing.
But it's cool if you find a place when you are well, because it's sometimes hard to find this place in this industry. And we saw on Spark Media website that you are mixing live action and animation a lot in your content creation. So which one do you prefer? Maybe James?
So we're live action. So there is a divide at the office, animation side and live action side now. So I actually kind of like it when it does merge. We've done a lot of projects where, you've got splices. I think it's like you're wrapping up a present, like almost the video is the present. You got to have the garnish of like the present, and make it look as good as possible, because you can film an interview, talking head interview, or with stuff, or you can add some animation on it, lower thirds, or you know, some graphics or motion graphics or B-roll, and then you know, you then give the client something better than you know, you almost over deliver because you're adding more stuff to the video to make it a better product for them.
We work with some really talented people as well, so it's really cool to see like what our animators can do to kind of add a little something to some of the live action. So it is really good that we can work together on stuff like that.
And do you have some kind of project that you prefer to manage, or?
The easy ones. No, I prefer. I mean, to be fair, it's every project is different. So it's kind of hard to say. I suppose we like to work with the clients we've been working with for years, and we want to keep that relationship going. And if we've worked with someone for like say like 5 years, some instances there's been clients that are longer than I've been there, and you kind of, they're like, you're not friends, but well, you may have friends. They're like you have that connection. Of a
friendship with clients, and I think the ones that have been going on longer, you get excited then to work on what's next for them, because you know them well, and you know kind of how the previous shoots have gone and what the previous ads kind of look like. I would say the harder projects are probably my favourite to manage, because I think you learn more, and they're more exciting, there's more going on, there's more to think about. So yeah, probably the bigger shoots would be
like the TV adverts that we do. There's a lot of planning that goes up to the point of the filming, and you get this built up, like it's building up to then you film it. It's a big shoot, long day or a couple of days, and then you get that. Then it's rewarding after you go, oh well, look what we just did, you know. And then we make this advert with a bear in it, and it's like, look at what we did. We did this thing. It was really good. Yeah, like I agree that bigger projects are scary at the start. Like you always get a bit scared of these. Oh, what's going to happen? But you know, you always get through it. You know, the worst what's the worst that happen? You just need to trust in yourself and trust in the team. You know, you got a good team around you, so you can you'll be fine.
And we are really interested to know what a brief for an advertisement looks like, since the only brief as student we can know is like the brief for coursework. So maybe Georgia, you can explain how you manage with the client. And
I think it really depends on the client. Some clients are very specific, they know exactly what they want, and they send pages of documents and links to things that they've seen and they like, and that kind of thing that we then work through. Or some clients come to us and go, we want an ad, we have absolutely no idea.
Okay,
and then we kind of go from there. So it's really a process. And it tends to be like conversations with the clients. We have lots of meetings. We do brainstorms as a whole team, where people can throw ideas around, and then we pitch 4 or 5 ideas to the clients and kind of work from that point as to exactly what they want. But it does really depend on the client. I think that's something like definitely, like it's always going to look different. Nothing is going to be the same, no matter like where you're going, what job you're going into.
You have to manage every project to have the.
We also get sent briefs to take. We take a brief. We have calls, like say, with the clients to say, you know, this is what we want. We're kind of good when the client's like, I don't really know what we want, because then we can go, oh yeah, well we can offer you this or this, and then maybe we get a project where we have a steer on the narrative and the creativity, and then those could be some of the better projects as well, where you know the client trusts us completely to go, we want to make this type of video, you know, it's in your hands, and we're like, yeah, sure, it's great. So then we can do different things that we might not necessarily be able to do, use different lenses, use different cameras.
Hire a bear.
We'll have to show the bear.
We really do want to see the bear now. But since we have spoken about the media industry and what you get up to, we want to cover now your professional history. So, my first question is to Georgia. As a production coordinator, it's a nice addition to have like a rationale behind the advertisements. Likewise, who gets the most say? Is it the directors? Is it the project manager? Or is it you in general that have the proper overview of everything?
So we are a team always. So everything kind of is a collaboration. And from like literally from the moment we get a brief, it's a whole team brainstorm. We make sure everybody kind of gets, even if like it's an animation project, we might still be involved in the brainstorm, even though we probably won't have anything to do with the project as a whole. And likewise, their input with our projects is really helpful. In terms of on set, obviously, like there is a hierarchy of sorts. People have their roles, and the director does get the say on how like different takes look and how we go around that. But it's not a dictatorship. It is a team effort, and it's if you've got an idea, everybody would be happy to hear it. Like on a shoot, in terms of me, I'm managing the cast and I'm managing any runners that we've got on. And if somebody came to me and was like, I've got a bit of an idea, I would love to hear it. Like that is how it works. So like it is a collaborative industry, and I think that's something really like to try and get that across as much as I possibly can.
Teamwork is so important that it's normal. So in Spark Media Company, that you are working with many clients, as you said it many times, and it can be like sometimes intimidating. So how did you feel to work while you are asked to produce the opening, closing and title for Birmingham Commonwealth Game? Maybe James, you can start.
Yeah, no, that was a very exciting one. It was kind of pitched as, this is like this is like the Commonwealth Games, obviously massive for Birmingham, West Midlands. So to work on that was fantastic. I did a lot of the time lapse. I did the time lapses and hyperlapses that are in there. So you planned them and went to do them. I think that one is such a good collaborative effort, because we walked around Birmingham on recce's just to go, what shots can we include in this? And because there's certain angles or certain permissions you have to get as well. So just that one, like George said, it's collaborative. It's very collaborative. And you have to, the animators walked around with the DOP, Paul, as well, just to see the angles and what would work. And then I think that was one of our strongest pieces of work that we've created in the time I've been there with Sparks history, and for like promoting Birmingham Commonwealth Games as well, West Midlands. Like it was fantastic to be a part of. And it got played. That one was played on the worldwide broadcast of the Commonwealth Games, because the BBC one was separate to our one. So that one got probably, I don't know how many views online, throughout the world. So that was very good. Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah.
And Georgia, so how did you handle the stress and the pressure you can feel on such a big subject?
I think you've got to like take it away from it being like such a big thing, and you've got to almost be like, okay, so what needs doing, and what can I do today? What can I do tomorrow? What can I do next week that needs doing in the run up to? So I always take like, okay, this is the shoot day. What needs doing before that, and break it down and put it into a more manageable like process for yourself, because I think if you just sit there and be like, oh my god, it's the Commonwealth Games, you like nothing productive is going to get done. So you have to really like break it down and be like, so for the Commonwealth Games, for example, I had to make sure we had all the permissions for these guys to go and film in and around Birmingham. So for me, that was the process, and it was like, right, this is that shoot, I need to get permission for Piccadilly Circus or like whatever it's going to be. You have to kind of break it down and not let it panic you, I think. And again, like the teamwork is really important with that. I think if I was having a day where I was a bit panicky, you can talk to people and break it down with each other, and I think that helps.
Sometimes take a step back is better than
That's the point you're saying. It's intimidating, but actually if you do break it down, is that this is the job, the film and shoot. It's the same as the other ones we've done, just a bit of a bigger name and a bit more pressure. But if you go, no, actually this is what we need to do. It's the same with any coursework or stuff. It's your dissertation, but actually you've done this before, working on stuff, so it's just breaking it down into bite-sized chunks.
And on the topic of the Commonwealth Games, Spark Media won an award for Best Animation of 2023 at the RTS Awards for its opening titles. So, how did it feel to be a part of a team that managed to win such an amazing award?
Yeah, so we've been nominated a few times for RTS, and we've been many years, and we never won. But this one we won, so we're like, I suppose it feels. I think for me it feels just like watching something is more of the achievement of like we made this video, and it looks great, and it was so hard on it, that's kind of more the achievement for me. Is just I'm not too, you know, very, very nice to win the RTS, obviously, and to, you know, to get that accolade. But actually, yeah, just that final product for me is like that my reward almost is like to see, you know, my work being shown somewhere. That's for me is more important. But yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the payoff of seeing a project in its finalised form is it's a pretty good feeling. Obviously, very happy that we got the RTS.
Yeah, we love the RTS awards, by the way.
And yeah, but yeah, I think the final project and seeing something that you've worked so hard on in its finalised form, that's the true reward.
Yeah, because you watch it back, you know, you work on stuff with, you know, you watch it back later on and you go, you know, I still made this even like years later, and you kind of, that's kind of what's kept me going in this industry, is going like we're making some really great stuff and we'll continue to make some great stuff, and that is the reason for me, I keep going and going and going and stuff, because you want to keep bettering yourself, bettering the projects, you know. Commonwealth Games 2026 or something, you know, if it ever comes back to Birmingham, we could do another one and do it even better, you know.
Yeah, maybe. I hope for you that you can do this. So thank you for so much relevant answer for the next portion of the show. We are going to take the question from our audience, and so they can ask you a few questions that we not asked for the moment.
The fishbowl is back.
Drum roll.
Right, who's our first person today?
Have you ever starred in any of your have you ever starred in any of your own productions?
Yeah, so yeah, big thing is obviously you have loads of extras. You can we hire loads of extras in general anyway, but sometimes you might need that one extra person to be in the background, or even just to be in the film. So we've both been in a few ads, in the background. Again, it's like a little cameo appearance that we kind of find funny when we watch it back a year later and we go, oh, I remember that. Yeah. So that was quite funny. I was in this like airplane in Heathrow, just walking, cleaning cushions and stuff. And I'm in this random advert where we're cleaning cushions. There's my claim to fame, you know.
I mean, hey.
Yeah, why not? You know? I kind of find it fun to be in them too.
It's great to know.
I might change to be an actor one day. Yeah.
We would probably never star in, as in like.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't
actor, because
my accent
it
wouldn't
probably wouldn't go well. It's always better to kind of hire somebody who knows what they're doing in that. But in the background, in terms of extras and stuff, I think the whole team has been in at some point.
Been in
so
some of them,
it's fun.
That's amazing. And next question.
This one's for James. What interested you most about working for a video production company than an in-house company? A video production agency than an in-house company?
Okay, so like in-house as in like corporate. Oh, okay, yeah. So video production, I think you just get that more freedom of working with different clients and different, different projects. So it's the same. Whereas in-house might be sort of more engaged in one thing. So I think just the variety of clients and stuff like that. That's the main thing for me. I did work for an in-house production in my last job as well, and I had great fun in that, in creating very specific content for that TV station that's still there now as well. So I think there's actually benefits to both, I think. But I think the variety of what I have now is probably something that I wouldn't change for.
Okay. Amazing.
Hi, nice to meet you. A compliment for your career. I have a question for both. What advice would you give a university student who want to enter in this industry?
You want to go first?
I think just enjoy as much as you can this process, learning about it from the uni side of it without the pressure of it being a job, and learn as much as you possibly can now. I think any kind of experience that you can get now while you're at uni in the real world is a good shout. Like, get as much work experience you possibly can, because there's no pressure on it for you to be earning it currently. And I think that's what's going to put you above everybody else when you go into the industry. And then just enjoy it. Like, it's a great industry to be in. So I think, just enjoy it.
My advice would be, yeah, try and get as much work experience as you can, like just to get that hands-on, because when you do apply for jobs, you'll have that behind you to go, you know, I've worked here, here and here, this is my value and this is what I can offer you. I think advice as well when applying for jobs is saying, you know, you're investing in say if there's a job opening, there'd be, I imagine, quite a few, you know, applicants, and it's sort of setting yourself apart and like investing in a company and saying, like, I want to grow with your business, to improve your business, and I want to learn in your business that can then elevate your work to be there for, you know, for years to come, depending obviously on how it goes. But, you know, you want to show them your passion for that work, and you want to, like, businesses are looking for people who are like passionate, eager, wanting to learn, wanting to develop.
And I don't think like businesses are necessarily looking for you to be the perfect cam up or the perfect gaffer or the like whatever. They're looking for you to come into this business and care and to want every project that you work on to be the best project that you've worked on, and to want to learn and to try new things. And I think that's more likely to set you aside than being like, I'm the best cam up you've ever seen. Like, I think it's the real willingness and the passion and the care.
Okay, no, it's a really good answer. Maybe one or two questions left from our audience.
I've got one question for Judge. If you could have done anything different in your career, is there anything you would have changed?
I don't think so. I think obviously, like, you always want to get to the best as quickly as possible, but I think the experiences that I had, I learned so much from. I don't think I would be the person I am. I don't think I'd be the production coordinator I am had I not had those experiences. So I think, like, my advice to you is just enjoy it. And I keep saying it, but enjoy the process, learn from the process, however it turns out. Don't put that pressure on yourself to, I need to get a job in the industry, I need to get this job in the industry. Get whatever job you can in the industry and learn from that while you make your way to where you want to be. And I think that's, like, enjoy it. I will just keep saying it. It's such a good industry to be in. And I think, yeah, just, I wouldn't change it because I learned so much from the way I've kind of gone, and I hope to keep learning and to keep kind of growing and to see where it goes.
Because we're quite early still in our careers as well. Like, we're not like that, you know, far away from you guys. You know, we've just worked the way to where we are now, and then, you know, you guys will be wherever you know where you'll be in a few years. Honestly, yeah. If you just, it's literally just keeping going. And even for me, like winging it. Like, I am kind of know what I want to do, but how I've got here, I've just took opportunities as they came. And just go, yep, okay, I want to do that, I'll do that. Yeah, it's just being that flexible, I suppose, at uni to be like, yeah, I can do this shoot on this day. If you want real world experience, that can be useful. Yeah.
You give great advice, but now we are moving to the next part of the show, which is about picture, because we have selected some picture for you. So normally they are coming here and you are going to explain what these things are.
Okay,
so if you have to,
so yeah, this one, yeah. So this was for Tanki, which was a toilet paper company, and their toilet paper does not have any plastic in, and plastic, obviously, in the ocean, very bad for fish. So that's why there's a fish, and fish and chips, obviously, they go together. And we had the talking fish in there, and it was like basically saying, look, we don't have any plastic in our toilet paper. This is how we brainstormed. This client, I didn't have a clue, I don't think, what they wanted. They were like, you know, just let's go for something. And then we brainstormed, you know, ideas, and our talented animator, Holly, she came, animated it all, and yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, it's like, I didn't have much to do with that one though. That one was kind of just that more animation side, but I can't remember who pitched the talking fish idea. I can't remember, but yeah, no, that was really cool actually. Just really random, but it was very cool.
So maybe another picture, and maybe Georgia, you can comment on this. one.
Yeah.
So Verisure is one of our regular clients. We've done 5 or 6 batches of ads with them, and each batch kind of consists of 4 to 8 ads.
Yeah.
TV ads, they're always quite intense shoots. They're always quite a long process of pre-production, which I'm quite heavily involved with. I know the client very well, and have lots of conversations with them as to exactly what they want. And then we usually do about a 3-day shoot where we film 7 or 8 ads in the space of 3 days, all different kind of scenarios. We filmed in London with Verisure, at a school. We filmed obviously in Birmingham, and we kind of take it wherever. We hire houses and actors, and there's a long pre-production process, so it's a long casting process, it's a long kind of location recce process that we take with Verisure. But yeah, it's a good client.
Yes, it's cool to have some client.
Yeah.
And the next photo,
I think I'll get one.
maybe you can tell more about the next one.
Looking at your
Social media.
Your
Oh, yeah,
social
okay.
media.
Yeah, so I will say social media for me is something I'm not very good at. Like, I'm not like the person who is like, I don't like to post a load. I post personal project stuff, but when it comes to work stuff, we've got a very talented marketing assistant with us, Becca, who has done an amazing job with our social media. That she's took it over the last 8 months or so, I think, or 10 months. And she's been posting really regularly, adapting our content that we've got permission to post, because not all the stuff we can post. But yeah, she's done really well with just creating an online presence for us, and actually that does get us leads for work. And people see our social media presence, they can see the team, they know who they're working with, and that's like really. That's some advice, I suppose, if you do go into a production house or something like that, and their social media isn't, something they focus on. That is something as a added value that you can say, look, if you wanted to, it depends if you wanted to do that, but you can add value to a company by something they're not doing. Well, our social media was, it was good, to be fair, before Becca joined, but she's took it to like a new level where. It was more personalised content with some of the team and stuff like that. That's something it's really good.
And Georgia, do you have a post that you like the most, or?
I really like the some of the behind the scenes stuff that we kind of put on. Can't actually see any of them, but there's some that's Becca's done recently that's shows storyboard to kind of test shoot to actual product. I really like that. It really shows like our process and how we work, and you might see some of us in the test shoots.
Yeah, that's it. That's where we start. We start running the test shoots. Yeah, because that's the thing. We'll get the client to what they want. Then we'll do like brainstorms to get ideas. Then we'll do test shoots to have a storyboard, then a test shoot to make sure it actually works. Because sometimes you think of a great idea that in actual practice it might not work. So you need to storyboard, and if possible do a test shoot, try it out, and then I get to act a bit there, and then get my online profile up there.
So I think it was really a pleasure, and it was really interesting to talk to you because it was an amazing moment for all the show. Yes. And you provided such relevant answer. So we want to thank you for coming, and we have learned a lot from this.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, if there's anything else, just you can follow us on Instagram. No, if you wanted to link with us on LinkedIn or whatever and ask us questions or whatever, please do. Yeah, if we can help, we might have filming shoots that come up that we might need some help on.
Runners on.
So we can help with that as well. So because we're local, we're Birmingham, not far away. So there's stuff we can help with. Yeah, we'd like to help. We were students as well, so we want to help.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, and enjoy it, was what Georgia said, and collaborative and communication.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So I want to thank everyone for coming in today and watching today's episode. You have learnt a lot, and you've also learnt to enjoy it while you're in university. So if you haven't already, please follow our social media where we post our behind the scenes pictures and our next guest interviews. Thank you.